In this video we have an early VCR, not the earliest, but this would be early 80s. Not sure what year they came out, possibly 82 kind of era, maybe 83. This is a monster. It's an AWA Thorn, made by Mitsubishi ATV4, I think this is, yeah. It was also an ATV4, which had a bit of a docking bay here for a remote control. One of the first VCRs I actually owned was one of those, but the remote was missing and the heads are worn out, so that just got scrapped, I think. This one's unfortunately missing a bit of a cover here, probably to say tracking control. You've got a wired remote, 5-pin, actually more, 8-pinned in, I think. And I didn't have a lot to do with these, there's never that many of them around, but surprisingly there still seems to be a few around. I think the ATV2, I don't know if there was ever an ATV1, but ATV2 was a weird looking black machine. There was a few of them around. I saw one recently for sale, but they wanted silly money for it. So I certainly wasn't going to pay that for one of these. But top loading, they got their own special power cord was another thing you needed for them. I get a feeling that other one that I was given a long time ago actually was missing the power cord as well. But that's one of these weird ones, very much like one of those Philips KA series TVs where you need to separate one for power, one for 240 volt power, one for 12 volt power, because they changed different pins in there. Looks like it's hooked on, it's got 3 different pins hooked up. Probably an earth. I don't know if these are double insulated or not. But we have a big socket on the back for that. Now, I don't think any of this tells you when this was actually made. Get a feeling I may have found an advert for when these came out, but I'll have to see if we can find that. And they had these, all had this sticker on there. Most of them still seem to be on there. Logic controlled DC motor. So it's got 2 real motors, capstan heads, and I guess, well, it doesn't have a loading motor because it's top load. So I'm not sure what the other one. Trying to think, was there something mode motor or something? I guess it must be. So it'd be a mode motor, capstan, 2 reels and drum. That would be it. Not sure they were the most reliable machines, but I guess there's less belts in it. Certainly in their old age, they shouldn't need much in the way of belts. I don't know if I've ever actually put a belt kit in one of these. These were pretty obsolete by the time I was fixing them. And just did not see them around much. Though, like I say, surprisingly they're turning up at tip shops and stuff as they're still around. But people starting to ask silly money for all this old junk now. And we don't even have a clock. I think these might, did these have a main, oh, we've got a cassette light. Did they have a main switch? Well, I doubt they would if the cassette light's lit. Well, it's got an electronic problem by the look of it. And there's something in there, but I don't think we can eject it. Oh, yes, we can. Oh, okay, so we've got, yeah, the stop light I just noticed was lit up. Recent events, Simon's early days. So that's just a label that fell off someone's Polaroid tape. I can see a counter belt. Yeah, these have got a sensor lamp. I think they actually went pretty well on these. It's quite dim. And I get a feeling so I may have replaced a sensor lamp or 2 in these. But that's one thing that comes to mind is I think they were actually very long lived, unlike the sharp ones. Bit of rust there. Yeah, no clock, but is there something? I don't think we've got any way of turning the clock off or anything. I think when I first lit that, it didn't look like any lights came on. Program, record, power, video, TV. Yeah, no sign of a clock. We'll put a test tape in. Nice, a satisfying solenoid sound there. Seems rather tight, but it is a little rusty in there. It's going into play. That reel is making a lot of noise, but it's just running very fast with no load. Ooh, then again. Is that the counter? The counter's going flat out, so maybe it's not just lack of load on it. That's a new one. That's the rewind. Is it even running? It certainly gets along, this machine. Hey, it was turning. Whoa. I think that needs a lubrication. There's nothing under here for clock or anything, just automatic fine tuning. Channel 3-4 on the modulator output. There's a little switch down in there. And there's something loose in there, so I better find out what that is, I guess. But I kind of like these big old machines. There's something about them. They're just an interesting looking old machine. I've got a few big old clunkers lying around I must get onto, including a couple of early beta ones. But yeah, they just had a bit more presence or something, these big old machines. And the interior, the mechanism and stuff's much more interesting because it's a lot more mechanical in these things. More solenoids and whatever. More motors. This has got quite a bit. This is actually a die-cast mech. I was going to say it's got quite a bit of die-cast, but I think this is a die-cast like a Panasonic. But at least there's something actually in these machines. Great big wire wound resistor, 20 watt or something. That's, or 10H it says, so maybe a 10 watt. I mean, look at this. Great big transformer. Great big tuner or modulator. Yeah, crazy old things. And yeah, that's I think the main advantage of these having so many motors is there is no or very few belts in the drivetrain. Great big solenoids there, look at those beasts. That's why we get, one of those must be the ejector one, is it? They don't seem to eject it, something that makes a nice clunk. That's the pinch roller. God, have they got a solenoid just for the pinch roller? That's why these machines were often so expensive. Because you're paying for all this expensive mechanical parts, precision made stuff, copper wire and all the rest. I think someone's replaced that with some little globe. It should have a rubber thing around it, but anyway, if it does the job, it does the job. And wow, that's all mechanism there. Let's see what's loose in here. Can I get it out? Don't know what that is. I think we have to take the bottom off. And the back panel's actually loose. I don't think the back panel comes off, does it? Maybe it does. I have to take the front panel off though and remove the bottom and then flip the board down. I think it's one of those designs. Oh great, someone's put dirt in there. I don't know if that is dirt, it's something more like wood or something. Yeah, the back panel, been a long time since I pulled one of these apart. Back panel does come off by a little bit, there you go. Can completely remove that, that's kind of cool because there is a board behind there. Is that what just dropped out? I think there's a bit of cable tie stuff there. That might have been what was making that noise. Wow, this thing's got some weight in it. I guess we're going to have a look at what the clock's doing anyway. And not sure if you get service manual for these anymore. For a clock it might be a useful thing to have. Bit of the front panel broken there, we'll just put to one side. Do these have something on the ends? That's right, it's missing a little triangle panel. Not sure what they were there for. There's something still holding this thing. Oh yeah, there is screws on the side. I can see this one. Must be missing where the other one is. Got a feeling they have a side screw. Oh, there it is. Just looking in the wrong spot. Again, it is surprising what you remember with some of this old stuff. Oh, the front. Oh, we've got an earth wire. Front perspex is all falling out. Lots of dust in there, but yeah, this bit's loose. Don't think it's meant to be. It would have been originally melted. Yeah, we can see the melted in bits, so that's been whacked or something, and yeah, broke a lot of the mounts off. Some of the top ones are still there. So that's another issue. And that's what it looks like naked. And yeah, does this, yeah, the board assembly, I think, pivots. I can see a big Senkyo motor. Does that have a date? Don't think so. That's something we should be looking for, is dates on these things. Yeah, it's definitely got pivoting points at the back there. And we've got arrows here, so that would suggest a few of these screws might be the wrong ones, but that would suggest this pivots up. Another one there. I think this is all the small signal stuff under here. It says YC on one board and ADSV, so servo and add, dunno. But YC would be chroma luma. And there's the mechanism. Look at that capstan. Got all the serrated teeth for, looks like, yeah, 2 optical breakers there. And we've got a tooth belt there, so there we go. December 81. I thought they might be around the 82 era, these things. So even earlier by the look of it, they're certainly an older machine. That's why they weren't so common, because they were so expensive even then compared to 83 era. And you know, look at all this wiring and stuff. That all costs a fortune to put in there, and a lot of labour and stuff, or a lot of work by machines. Yeah, what a beast. And this is what they're kind of cool to work on, because you actually had a whole lot of stuff. I mean, look at all these trim pots, delay lines, big AN chip from Matsushita, another Matsushita, a lot of Matsushita, Toshiba. So Mitsubishi not put many of their own chips in this thing. It's almost, is that even a Texas Instrument? Wow. It's got American parts in it, NEC. So I don't think I've seen a single Mitsubishi chip so far, or part. I don't know if it's got these things, it must have some sort of microprocessor, I guess it'll probably be a Mitso. Oh, well, let's just put that board back in place with one screw. And what have we got now? Our clock board. Who knows where that comes from? Obviously over in the power section. I think you loosen this off and we can get that tuner or tuning part out of the way. Oh wow, look at that, quite a power supply down in there. 2 massive bridge rectifiers, fuse, couple of enormous caps. There's a few fuses. Could we be out of fuse somewhere? There's an RF modulator. Then we had access to the switch. Could be anything out in this thing. I would like to measure the voltages on that fluorescent tube or fluorescent display. Yeah. There's just something underneath. I can see something moving to do the eject. Even when it's ejected, it's still... Oh no. I think I can see why we've got no display. Is that looks gassed. That white little patch there. Maybe that's what was rattling around in here. They've broken the little teat off the display. The fact that that front bit's been damaged. Probably when this got chucked out, because it's very rare for these clocks to fail. So one thing you'd always rely on to work, and that's a bad sign. If that's gassed, there's nothing I can do to fix that other than get another machine. Now this might work better than actual taping it. Oh, wow, that sounds better. I'm going to have to put a tape in it to see if it does that with a tape in it. It's really only got the motor direct driving it, but that's why those motors I think are running so fast, because they're direct drive. Take the brake off. So that could actually be the motor itself making that horrible noise. That one definitely just needs a lube. Another optical breaker there. Let's put an actual tape in just to see what happens. I'm pretty sure we'll find it actually runs fine. Fast forward doesn't even work. Sandy. Rewind does. Yeah, fast forward won't work at the end of the tape. Let's try the old play. Oh, I don't know if that's a bad tape, but it's something to stop the drum even rotating. And we've chewed. So the rewind is not happy. Oh, something. Tapes seem to be sitting up a bit. Let's eject that. I don't know if I would be my luck to pick a bad tape, but it's also very cold, so maybe there's a bit of moisture there. I know we were working. That is massive amount of tension. Listen to that head, you can hear it bogging down. And then it stops. So what's going on now? We've died altogether. I'd like to suck the tape back in. Yeah, so what's happened? Very strange. The same lights there, same there. We've gone dead. No mecha function. But of course it ejects, so I can chew the tape. Lamp's still lit. And this is why I have old tapes as test tapes, because they tend to get destroyed by things like this. How does back tension work in this? My God. Don't tell me they use the supply motor, so it could be related to that if that's not happy, and it does feel pretty... Man, that's actually... that's very stiff. It kind of turns and then doesn't want to turn. So it could be if this motor's stiff, then that's going to put up the back tension. So I think we might... I'm not sure how those reels even come off. Does that top bit pop off? Yeah, been a long time since I fiddled with these. Don't know if I've ever had a reel out. Maybe when I scrapped one once or something. But I think the drum is actually in good condition. And we'll just have a quick look at this display, which unfortunately I can tell is going to be shot by the look of it. That's really annoying. Because where do you get another one of those from? There's the cover. Flying on the floor. Yeah, that is gassed as can be. Nice white, bright white patch. So where did the bit stick out? Of course we can't tell because it's busted off, but usually there's a hole in the circuit board or something where the little vacuum teat thing was, where they suck all the air out of it with the vacuum pump and then they heat the glass and seal it off. Oh yeah, that's what it was. You can see there, a hole in the top of the board and there's nothing there. I can see the busted off glass. So one of the things rattling around in here was or is a busted display. What a shame. I mean, it was only really good for a display piece. Anyway, I think this machine, but it would have been nice to at least have the clock functional in it. But unfortunately, that is busted. I wonder if some other machine would have anything like it. Probably not, other than the ATV4, which would be likely the same board in it. Oh, another one may turn up sometime, but it's not the end of the world. It's just a bit disappointing. How do we get this out? Oh, 4 screws or maybe 6 screws there. Not sure if they all have to come out, but looking at it, I think they might. Yep. That's some serious metal work. Complete with great big earthing things. I think they went onto the top cover. And yeah, they had to put an annoying thing there to hold the metalwork. That's dropping under its own enormous weight. Oh, there's a piece fits in there, 1 pin into that bit. I think that's your slow down the mechanism bit. We've got that little gear assembly that it's like a bit of clockwork in there basically. Things twirl around and slow the mechanism so it just doesn't do a complete clunk. Even though it sounds pretty clunky, it would be even clunkier without that thing in there. Now to these, I think they must just lift off, but I'm also thinking something about circlip somewhere. I'm not sure if this thing comes off from the top. And this is where you risk breaking something because you don't know what the hell you're doing. Yeah, that is very stiff. So I think the only 2 belts in a belt kit for this would be just 2, which you can get for using normal old cassette player belts. Is 2 belts for the counter. And yeah, there's that one big tooth belt, which didn't normally come in belt kits anyway, so there really isn't a belt kit for this thing. So they may have sold on with those 2 belts. How do these reels release? Cobwebs galore. So if we drop the front panel down, we should be able to see a bit more. Yeah, there is something going on under there, but with the screws for the motor, it's just a blank plate underneath, I think, so you can't get anything from underneath. Ah, I think we have grub screws into a piece of brass. Let's get a torch into that. How do you actually access them? I guess you just put them in on a right angle, but yeah, what a design. It's a flat bit. I can see this brass bit sticking down here. Looks like a grub screw there and one 180 degrees apart. So these reels aren't really lubable. It's the motor itself, I guess, but we're going to have to try and... So it sits, yeah, almost flat onto the metal below. Go away, you horrible brake. That's the motor is what needs lubing. Oh well, they are right angled. Little keys. If my old kit has something, it's gonna be one of these kind of sizes. Possibly the smaller one. The problem is you gotta find the thing. Is that gonna reach? Yeah, wonderful. Not knowing what size it is a bit of a pain. Come on, where are you? Everyone's pointing out this way a bit. That is going to be one of the trickiest things to ever get to on this earth. I'm touching it, I think. Problem with hexagonal things is they don't just want to go straight in the hole. Yeah, it's too big, I think. Ooh, I think we just went in the hole, but it's not turning it. Yeah, it's definitely in there. And it's definitely the wrong size, so it must be that other one, surely. There's no intermediates on it. We just couldn't get it to mesh. Because it's the right size, it's a... Where'd you just go? It's a tight fit. What a conundrum. Ah, I see. Maybe you meant to use these holes in the front of the mech. Oh yeah, that actually probably helps. Of course, except someone put a bunch of wires in the way. Oh yeah. So now we can actually... You need a specific kind of Allen key, I think. There, I'm on it. Oh, I'm in it. Am I? No, missed it. I'm on it. It can't be that difficult to... I think I'm actually in it. That's going to be the most difficult thing ever. And then the worst thing is you can only turn so far up and you've got to take it out again. Oh, and it doesn't want to turn, of course, because I've got no leverage. Because we're on the thin end, or the short end. Oh, I think we just broke that one free. Yeah. Problem is, like I say, I can't move it any further without taking it out. What a pain. Oh, that is awful. I'm going to have to bend it up and just try and... Maybe I can rotate it the full way by doing a dodgy and bending it, because I'm not taking that thing out since it was one of the hardest things in history. So that one I need to mark. So I don't try and do it again. But that is really difficult to get in there. Like with a lot of these things, if you can't see it, you've got no hope. So you're definitely going to use that hole, but of course there's wires that are trying to block it. And then the Allen key keeps hitting on the chassis. Very hard to get the end of it straight and in there, and you just can't get any light on it. So you need to put a little LED or something under there, because all I'm getting is some sort of blurry Allen key, and it just doesn't really have enough room to fit. This must have had a special tool, special Allen key for it. I think I've hit it. Yeah, I've hit it, but I can't get it in there. Problem is I can't focus on it enough and light enough to... Oh, I think we got it. Oh, we got the bastard. Can't see it enough to see what orientation it is. Luckily, you can just swing the key around. That better come off now. Oh my god. What a nightmare. And it's got Loctite in there. So that is how you get a reel out of one of those. It is a major job. And yeah, there's some hair and stuff in there, probably doesn't help. I think I'm just going to have to put a little bit of oil on that motor. So in theory I probably could have got some oil under there, but the reel, you can lift it up, but it sits pretty close. And we're getting oil everywhere. Try not to leave too much there. lift that up and down a bit and spin it, wipe off the excess. Definitely don't really want it on that shaft because we're about to tighten that back up again. A bit of, I guess that's a brake pad or something there, is it? Black dust or something. Wow, that is certainly a pretty primitive sort of design. I guess one thing we can do when we put it back on is get this thing inserted as far from where the tight position is as we can. Not sure the exact height. I think most of these machines had some sort of jig or something. Can we bend it again and force it around a full turn? I sure hope so. I must admit I'm tempted just to tighten one and leave it at that, since it's only a sort of display machine. Though I guess there's a risk it'll come loose in rewind fast forward if we bother doing that much. Oh, that is some horrible stuff. So that's the one with the mark on it. You really need to make a light up for this thing, because trying to get this to angle under there is not really happening, and you just can't see it properly. You're looking through a hole, very hard to focus your eye on what's down in there. I think I'll worry about tightening the other one later. That's just too annoying. I'm going to have to come up with a little LED, I think, on our lead. And this one, you can't really see it. You almost have to take this front panel right off. So I'm not sure we can even do that one. I can see where it is. Now that I've done one, can I just jiggle this? Oh, that's in, I think. Is it? Yeah, good. It's just actually quite hard to get in. Seems like a tight fit. So that doesn't help if it actually has to be forced in there. I think that was it, breaking the Loctite, I think. It seems to be turning. My God, what a job. Yeah, that's got it. Maybe. Yeah, that's loose. And you've got to force it into full rotation. Insane, man. Oh my God, well that is a nightmare from hell. What the hell's in there? It feels quite free now, of course. Was something scraping here or something? It's got a bit more hair or something in there. Can't be helping. Definitely something wrapped around it. Not much play in that motor. That certainly feels a bit freer. Ah, much better. I think it would have been easier to replace some belts in the thing than deal with this. I think I'm going to do the same on this side. We'll just tighten one back up, the one I'm already in, so I've got to go around that way best I can. Yeah, it just does not want to go in there. They're right up where you can't see them. Even when you're looking at the thing and it's off the machine, it's still hard to get that Allen key to even go in. Go away, you brake. I need to lift that up slightly, I think. Hopefully I haven't made that too high. I think that's about as tight as it goes. And I'm jammed right in there in a funny position. I'm not sure I can get it back out now. Didn't think about what happens if it doesn't turn anymore. Oh gosh, it's either impossible to get in or impossible to get out. Much better than it was. That's still not the best, but so all I can say is don't work on one of these. I'm not sure what size that is. A what have I got? 1.5. It's that one there, 1.5 is the size of the Allen key you need, and there's got to be a better tool than that to do it. Oh yeah, 9th of the 3rd, 82 on that, so the machine was put together a bit later than the, or at least the loading part cassette holder thing was made later than the motor by about 3 months. Okay, we're on. Oh, that's a good sign. So, oh, I didn't put that little part back in probably. At least fast forward is now working. Look, still noisy, but could be the tape. So it didn't do it in fast forward, I don't think, did it? That's just because this bit's running slow, I think, so that's still noisy, I'm guessing. Let's see if play works now. Makes something squealing a lot, but yeah, we don't have a back tension issue now. Oh, maybe we do. Is that what's squealing then? Oh, there is no back. Oh, there's a back tension arm. There it is. No, wait up, what? That comes onto the tape from behind. Nowhere to really feel it. Yeah, it's still high, but we haven't cleaned anything. Look, there it goes. That's how harsh it is without the thing. So there is a tension arm. That was behind. The tape comes out. Yeah, it's on the other side of the tape, that thing. That's more just to go to that optical sensor, I think, to make sure there is tension on the tape. Probably shuts the machine down if it looks like it's lost tension and it's chewing or something. That doesn't look particularly bad. There's a bit of dirt coming off, but nothing excessive. Let's check a few things. Do the rollers roll? Probably not as nice as they should, but they are loose. That one seems a bit... What is that one? Is that like a back tension thing? That almost looks like a back tension arm. I wonder what's on the other side of that, but that roller feels a bit tight. Not that bad, but no, we did the tape, of course. We've got to watch these things. What is that arm? What's this thing? That's the tension. Oh, that's very tightly pulled in. So that's the bit that likely does our back tension. Oh yeah, tight as. If we get that out of the way, we can feel it a bit. Pretty tight. No, we can push a whole lot more on that thing and it doesn't stop. Oh, it's starting to. Is that? I think that's the drum hunting. So we've got a drum issue. I'm guessing it's going to be a bunch of lines on the picture. So even with that fixed, this thing's likely not to be working well. And that's what video heads look like, basically like a horizontal sync issue. Let's slow it down a bit. Is there any sign of a picture? Not really sure. Getting too slow, I think. Still hunting. That would probably suggest it's a bit slow. Who knows what's causing that. Pretty rare for the drum servo to get out, but it's almost looking like it's getting better, so possibly a bit of heat will make that come right. Bad cap or something. Well, thanks to some website that's like a wiki on Mitsubishi videos, I found out this is equal to a HS-302, and there's actually a manual online on archive.org, which may come in handy. I've at least found out what the test is for setting the drum servo. Now it may well be that something's faulty in there. This has a lot of really primitive circuitry in it, in the sense that it's all like discrete transistors, op amps and CMOS gate type ICs, 4000 series. So not the easiest thing to fault find. If it does come to actually doing that, bit hard to decipher the actual circuit. It's often easier when you just have a single chip that does the servo and a couple of signals in, a couple out or whatever. So not 100% sure what's what on this, but usually there's some sort of pickup on the motor, I think, that feeds the signal back, and everything's meant to be synced in, and then they've got to sync with the rotation of the head so they can switch each head, which shouldn't affect the speed of the motor, I don't think. That's just the actual video switching. So it's something to do in the actual motor servo circuit normally. I guess we'll try it again from cold and just see if it's still doing the same thing, which it no doubt will be. Yeah, doesn't sound like it's hunting like it was before, but let's have a look at the picture on it. So when the motor sounded fine, of course the AV connector was dodgy as stupid little RCA to BNC things, which are always rubbish. So I couldn't see a picture, and of course now that I try it again, it's hunting again. Typical. It's almost like when I hooked the video back up, it decided to play up. But the tape wasn't actually running before either, so maybe that was part of... gives me an idea. No, pausing it doesn't fix it. So we've got to find a test point. And yeah, it's not going to be easy to do on camera, no doubt. And there goes my connector, which I just broke. Whoop, just broke the RCA plug because this thing weighs so much. I shouldn't have tipped that up on there, but pretty typical of these things. So we need the A audio, and servo is what the A stands for. We should have a test point for E somewhere. And I might have to look at the diagram, which shows, of course, the top of the board. I haven't got the best looking solder joints there, but I think that's the erase oscillator or something there, since it's got audio. Yeah, so weird that it didn't play out when I first tried it, but typical. And of course the TV won't let you see an image when you can actually do something about it. Where is the drum? Sometimes putting your hand on here will make it like that. So that IC401 is our main servo. Shouldn't be any bad voltages on here, hopefully. Makes it hunt differently. Now there's a set of 3 pots somewhere. Doesn't look like they've got holes under the board. That'll be right. So we're going to have to flip the board anyway, no matter what. I think we just touched the drum on the bench. Let's have a look at it this way. We've got VR405, I think yes, that's bank here. Should be this end one. It doesn't like me touching that. And test point 4E was over here somewhere. Oh, is it one of these just links? 4C, 4E, it's that link there. I think they said to try and get 5 volts. So let's see what we've got on test point 4E at the moment. Pretty close to 5 volts, so there goes that theory, but worth checking. Certainly making it do something. Oh, almost sounds like it's just taking longer. It sounds a bit like it's almost hunting and locking. It certainly sounds better when it's slower like that. Oh, that voltage just is changing all over the place. It was low before. So it's high. It's kind of going up and down, and it goes down and then it goes back up again. Oh! Well, at least it's not hunting, but of course now I can't see an image on this thing. We've got tracking out, but we do have a picture, so I have tweaked it. See if we can get the tracking, that's better. Yeah, I can't get the tracking right. But at least the heads have locked in. Oh, the... Yep, tape's frozen again. It's like it's in pause. That's what happened before. It just didn't run the... Whoop. Oh god, I think we've clogged the heads up. Could just be a bad patch in the tape or something. Or at least we're running, but you know, we've clogged the heads, I think. Might have just hit a bad patch though. It is rather cold. which probably doesn't help. Let that metho dry off a bit, and I don't have a hairdryer handy, or do I? Oh, yeah, I've actually got a hairdryer here to test. Let's give it a test. And the tracking issue has got some interference, but the tracking issue has gone away. Now tracking's working as it should. So that's the image. Quite a few dropouts, probably just the tape, but there is some sort of interference on it. Lots of stuff, but I don't know what the recording's like, so... And it's getting gradually worse, because this tape is a piece of rubbish, I think. I have to plug the heads up again. Ugh, sounding terrible. I'm trying to rewind. Something's making a horrible humming noise. And now it's working. Yeah, I think that's probably just the reception. Let's get a different tape, I think. So it seems to have problems with the system control. Doesn't always do what you say on the buttons, what you press, and the capstan is doing some weird stuff. Like now it's chewing, so that's a real, I guess that's a real issue maybe, one or both. But you can see this is stopping and carrying on, and that's why we're getting so much tracking issues. So we currently lost the picture, it seems. You see, that takes a little while to click in as part of the issue, I think. Whatever it is. So maybe we've got a sticking solenoid or something. So I've got no image at all now. We've got the same rubbish like we had a bad connection, but no image. We've got this jerking around and stopping and doing weird stuff. I must remember, it's leaving a bit of tape out, I think. I must remember to rewind before I eject. See, something hasn't gone click, I don't think. And now that just did something. And we're in rewind, but nothing's happening. So this thing's getting worse the more I use it. So I did stop again. Sometimes it doesn't eject. So, welcome to Mitsubishi land. What else goes click in this thing? Does this have some sort of mode switch? It's got a few micro switches. It's got a bunch of micro switches. Oh, there's the main. There's a big solenoid under here by the look of it. Ooh, that's the eject solenoid, I think. So as well as having a motor for every function, they seem to have a solenoid for every function. But yeah, this thing is full of random problems, it seems. Now, I'm wondering about capacitors and stuff around some of these hotter areas. Could we have power supply issues? That's another thing, quite possible. I think the power supply's on the tuner board. Let's just screw our board back in. But at least we've got the drum locked in. That was just the start of all the issues. Yeah, that's just the clunker for that. Now, I don't know if everything's coming off. Let's put our dummy tape in just for a minute. Does that look for a signal? What's happening here? It's just sleeve. I don't think it has any real torque. I can actually stop that, which is not a good sign. Am I making that slip on there, or is the motor stopping? Oh, it's that releases this thing. So why is that a bit slow to... Look at it, it's kind of coming... I think that solenoid might be, or part of it, something on it sticking. I don't think the solenoid itself is bad. That's the brakes, a couple of pins, that's fine. Well, there's nothing to really stick there. Very weird. Unless it's to do with me not having put that back in properly, but I doubt it. Very slowly. Oh, is there something else here blocking it? Oh, that's blocking it maybe. What's this? Oh, it's the other solenoid maybe. Let's, God. That solenoid comes in, locks. Ah, so this solenoid has to let go before that one will. That one's trying to go. It's slowly moving. Yeah, that is the final. If we push that one though, it comes. So are the two of these working together to jam each other or something? That would be the kind of thing that's happening, I'm guessing. That came out that time fine. There we go, that's gone in. That time it didn't come out. We have to check the voltages, I guess, but if I press on that, it comes out. So that's the pinch roller one. That feels free enough. Goes that little bit extra. Oh, we've got that arm in the way. Doesn't help. So is that arm getting out of the way, or whatever it's supposed to do? Moves first, pinch roller comes in. Ah, the arm comes back first. No idea what's going on there. But pressing that makes that stuff go. So what pulls this out of the way? Something did. Yeah, I really need to measure the electrical to see if something's still powering any of this stuff. Maybe it's because I've got the dummy tape in there. That lever is off something as a slide bar, which must come off the cam gear, so that's what's controlling that, I think. Don't think that's sticky. Doesn't feel the smoothest, but running really bad. Oh, at least we've got our picture back. Even if it is a rather paused one, can we... couldn't be... Oh, that's vision search over there, I think. I didn't fast forward either. That's trying. It's having real trouble. I think that motor might just... Well, it must be the capstan pulling it through though, surely. Why is that so... It takes up the slack when the slack comes through. Something's buzzing there, so something's moved height-wise. And now we're just jammed up. I think maybe we're putting goo on this tape. Yeah, it's done something to the tape there. It's not looking too happy. Oh, what has it done to it? It's done some weird mark along the middle of the tape. Never seen that before that I can remember. Let's eject it and have a look. Except it doesn't eject now because that thing hasn't clicked again. Wow, it's got like a braille pattern on it in 2 spots. What has it done in maybe 3 spots? What the... I've never seen that before. What on earth could be putting that? Unless it's a pinch roller itself is... I don't think the pinch roller would be doing it. Feels smooth enough. We could hear the head making a noise. What on earth causes that? That's the first time I've seen a tape damaged like that. Usually it's just the edges get damaged. Well, that's something new. Backing the tension off seems to improve things a bit. That doesn't always feel like it's got much tension. And the pinch roller seems to be engaged. Bit of a weird one. It's just rather random. Oh, that does feel quite tight there. Is it just the lower drum or something? I think we just got too much tension. But this one you can't push it back to release the tension, so that's another oddball designed by Mitsubishi. I'm going to cheat the tape again. Oh God, this lamp is that loose, it's ridiculous. Someone didn't do a very good job of fixing that. I'm not sure that would be causing any issues. Really, it shouldn't matter until you get to the end of the tape, so it shouldn't do anything until then. That almost looks like it's missing a grub screw, but so does that one, so it mustn't have them. What the hell sets our back tension, or can we even adjust it? I can't remember if that motor made a noise with a reel off it or not, but sounds a lot like sounds like something scraping on the, but lifting that up doesn't stop it. Oh, it's running on its own now. It's not the bloody counter, is it? So it's not the actual reel anyway. How did I miss that? That's noise free now. So it's the actual pulley that the belt goes on there, I think. Oh, better checked it. I didn't even notice that. It's that. It's the counter intermediate pulley for the counter is actually the issue. Huh. Yeah, I thought I took that off and it was quiet. Now I just realised that's... Small screwdriver. Take the circlip off the top of this thing. Do I need to take the loading back out? I shouldn't, but it might help. This bloody circlip won't turn. Okay, get the circlip in a better spot. And carefully remove it. Oh, don't tell me it doesn't. Oh, it just comes out. Now, I don't know. Oh, it must be that end that's a bit scratchy. Would have been the upper. They're both the same size roughly anyway. So it was that thing all along. Okay, let's put a bit of oil on that. Probably should have wiped it off first, but anyway. And maybe just a little bit on the bits themselves. I could also be missing a washer or something, I guess. Normally they'd have a little plastic washer or something in there, so maybe someone's had it out once upon a time and didn't put it back, or maybe they just never put one in. I doubt it's worn away or anything over time, but even that's possible. So I should have really put something in there probably, but oil will do it for now. Come on, you little... Gotcha. Just make sure we're still on the counter pulley, which we are. Oh, I think that was the upper belt actually, kind of think of it. So we're going to get the other one on first. I think it goes on a bit of an angle though. Maybe I'll put my reel on too high, but then if it goes any lower it'll be touching on that pretty much. Well, I think it already almost is. And now we're going to try and get around that oily bit without getting it on the belt. Ah, so that explains that noise. At least it isn't a dodgy reel motor after all. Oh, drum's hunting a little bit. Now we've still got the issue of the speed changing as the tape runs through. I don't think that's doing much. We're getting tension seemingly around the lower drum, so is it just the lower drum needs a clean? And we're still with that issue of the solenoid's not clicking properly. Yes, it blocks your eject. That's just, I think, slowly coming out. It's got to be that, surely. Why, when the other one's in place, something here needs a lube for sure. There's a pin there that doesn't... Something to do with when that's in place, and that's in place as well. I mean, the fact that it's going slowly would suggest it's this bit here, but that's as loose as you could hope for. And there's another bit of grease here. The other possibility is something's pushing it up inside the solenoid and it's jamming, but I think that's got a bit of play there, alright. Play on the aluminium, so that's not going to really push it. It does look slightly rusted on that solenoid, but very rare for a solenoid to stick, but it sometimes happens. Could something be stopping these brake pads? I find that hard to believe. Or this, that's just a little plastic lever. Yeah, very difficult to know. Like I say, it only seems to do it when that is engaged, and then I've got to get that out of the way. There's nothing there that's going to stop this coming back that I can see. The two don't... Oh, there's that roller. What's that? That's touching this bit. Oh yeah, which is kind of related. They're certainly a lot more complicated than the later machines. That little roller there could be... It's hard to tell if I'm turning it or not because I'm hitting on a little circlip or whatever. I think that might be fairly tight. Very hard to tell whether I'm pushing on it properly, but soak a cotton bud in a bit of oil, since I can't really get down there any other way, and soak that in there a bit. And I've got it on that slide bar, which doesn't help, and I might even put a bit down on that old grease there. Maybe a bit here. Not sure it's going to make any difference, but something on that pinch roller bit must be affecting it. Yeah, it comes into that little bit. Well, it made a quick click. Oh, so it's that click thing it does. Yeah, I thought something sounded a bit different. That's what it is. Should do a fast click. Oh, that doesn't sound very happy, that tape. So I'll just lube the pinch roller a bit, and we'll give this lower drummer more of a clean. You really need to clean them until nothing comes off, but it looks fine, nice and shiny, which is usually a good sign. Not really anything of note coming off there. Something here seems to be causing tension. And it's between this side, seems nice and loose. That is not sounding happy. I tell you, everything here needs a lube. Not sure that would really affect anything, but it certainly can't help. These are going to be nice fiddly little circlips to get off. Tiny little things. Let's get that out of the way. That's at least got a couple of plastic washers on it, which is good. It's not the best looking surface on it either. That's definitely got some muck on it. Looks like it's quite worn where the tape goes, which I guess is not a good sign. It should be just free rolling with it. Quite dirty. So let's put a tiny bit of oil on that as well. That sounds a heap better. Yeah, where does this... Oh, there's a little slot right up there. So is that normal to sit like that? I think it will sit, oh, it's like that one. Sits well above the roller, which doesn't make life the easiest. This is going to be fun to get back on, no doubt. Yeah, especially since we've got to get it into that groove. I think I have to lift that up. I think I need to hold it with my finger, lift that up. Yeah, that's it, get it in the slot. Ah, and that she stayed. Click. Yeah, that's no fun. I knew these machines were not a great thing to work on, but yeah, they're definitely a pain. Go back down on there. That won't go on because it's stuck in that slot. Probably should really give that a clean as well, but certainly not in bad condition. Yeah, that won't stop spinning, so that's a good sign. Yeah, so if you lift it up, get it sitting in there, and should be able to just, yeah, click it in. Don't know that we achieved much there, but at least they're lubed now. Clean the lower drum. I don't know what else could really cause it. I guess I might have to clean everything just to make sure none of these are... And yeah, what caused it? Tape to go weird. Don't know if that was the heads doing that. Maybe the heads were doing something to put those patterns on it. Very weird. I don't think there's anything on the capstan, although that does have a lump in the middle. Interesting. Oh god, yeah, that actually has a large lump in the middle. I wonder if that could be something. Oh god, I can pick it off with my fingernail. Oh, that's a new one. Oh, and there is, and maybe another, oh, here's another mark. Ah, so this has got some chunky stuff on it. Maybe that's what did it. I did wonder about the capstan, but it looked okay until you see it right on the right spot. Oh yeah, that's nasty, whatever that is. It's sticking right out. That's weird to have just a couple of blobs of something, but you just don't know what you're going to find with these old machines. There's still some stuff there, I think. Have to get the scourer out and really give it a go. And my feelers aren't on there. I'll run my finger up and down it, which obviously wipe it off again, especially when you've got a bit of oil on your hands, no doubt. I think that's all clean and smooth. Huh, odd. So maybe that was causing that issue, and I wonder whether that could have caused some other seeming tension issues, but it definitely did seem to have too much tension. Could that affect how the tape pulls through? Who knows? Certainly can't be helping things. And I'll give that a clean now that I've been touching it. Yeah, tiny amount of stuff coming off. I think they're all loose enough. Just that won't clunk then as well. Let's rewind to another bit of tape. No, it's still doing it. Nice and slack there, which it always is. A little bit of tension there. But I think we'll put this mech back in properly. That thing hasn't played up against it. It looks like most of this thing's lack of oil. because yeah, that supply motor definitely felt bad. Bin's a lot freer now. We've got to take this thing back off. Oh, and I bent out a little bit to get out of the way to get to that thing. I guess I should have just unscrewed it, might have been better, but it's only my machine, so it doesn't really matter so much. And yeah, that bit has to come up. And ideally, that grease is just dry. We should re-lube that. Yeah, that grease is just gooey stuff pretty much. A little bit of life in it with a bit of metho. At least the metho's loosening it up nicely. Well, this grease doesn't care what you do to it. Put a bit on there and round that pin. So we're going to get that out of the way. Get that pin into that little piece. And then yeah, this likes to tip over. And I'll put the screws. Best not to tighten any of them until you get at least a couple in place. This one I think I'll get about 4 of them in place. Maybe we should get all 6 in place. Usually a bit of adjustment in the lids to get them to line up with the top cover properly if they're slightly out anyway. That's a bit better, not so violent. Guess I should have brushed the dust off that bit as well. That's quite dusty down in there. According to the manual, this other arm might actually be the one that goes for the little opto breaker there. Might be the back tension arm. And something I had long forgot was the thing is to adjust it, you actually bend the bracket that the spring's attached to. Can we get, yeah, maybe just try and make sure we're not pushing against any guides or anything. Yeah, that's it. I'd say it's pulling the whole machine apart. Well, certainly a crude design. Whether that's enough, I don't know, but with the lower drum cleaned and that, you'd hope it'll make a difference. Yeah, it was, although this tape now dodgy in some way. Let's go the other way. And it's going very slow.
What girls do when they get to a certain age. If you put it away, I've seen it before. It's a raisin.
Very random.
My phone I'm not having raisin with you, Brooke. Fine.
But taking the back tension off doesn't seem to help very much. No, it keeps slowing down. So it seems to work on a commercial tape fine. So maybe these other tapes are a bit dodgy. So yeah, I don't know, every tape I'm trying, is doing something different. But these old tapes, unfortunately I don't know them that well, and you really need to know your tapes. Let's turn the sound down, because some of them may have issues with them. But yeah, that one seems to run fine. Yeah, vision search is working alright. So I'm starting to wonder if some of those tapes are getting a bit dodgy, but even my sort of test tape that should work is not working on this. It doesn't track it. Tracking's fine on this commercial one. Only just starts getting out at one end. So I don't know what's going on with this thing. Yeah, that's a nice amount of tension. That's pretty well spot on. I'll have to try another tape. Maybe sitting here in the cold winter it hasn't done it much good. Oh, might have to try it again from cold, but it seems still on some of these tapes to work alright. Other ones not so much, so maybe those old tapes, it's time to chuck them out. But I think I can probably put this thing back together. The worst of it's working. So I'll just... which bit is it? Yeah, that bit. Melt that a bit. Soldering iron tip won't be a real fan of that, but that'll hold it for now. So don't forget the screws on the side of the front panel. And we better screw our tuner back down. And I think that's everything back together besides the lid and the door, of course, for the cassette. I think it must have been those three long screws, all black ones. Is there anything under there? No. And where did I put the cassette door? There it is. A couple of nicer chrome screws for that. Since the customer gets to see them every time they put a tape in and out. Power is on. And that still seems to be behaving itself. So mainly that drum being out and a bit of lubrication. Yeah, unfortunately broken clock display. That little cover missing off the end there. And the one missing also around the tracking control. So never going to be a mint video. But it's not the sort of machine you'd really want to use anyway probably. But it's nice to get it sort of going in reasonable condition. I don't know if we can do much with that. Is that actually... Let's just get a bit of meso and see if any of that comes up. I'm not sure if that's rubbed on there or rubbed through the actual paint. but metho will dissolve this paint a little bit, so you've got to be a little bit careful. I think that's damaged the actual paint. Can we polish it off maybe? This machine obviously got chucked in the rubbish heap or something, and someone salvaged it to sell it, but it's certainly not mint condition, as we now know. But it was sold as is, where is, not running condition, so not much you can do. Not that I would now that I've wasted all this time on it. I'm not going to take it back for a refund now. It really needs a pretty good clean up. Actually worn through here, that's probably just from people putting their hand there or whatever over the years. Let's try a little bit of metal polish. I don't hold out much hope of improving anything much, but because I think that's all damage to the paint and cut right through the paint, so we're only going to make it worse possibly. I think that has kind of helped a little bit. Some of this here is coming off, I think. Some of it is scrape. Probably the actual paint's been scraped across or something. So it is minimising some of the worst of it. Getting some of the darker stuff off. It's like it's scraped against something dark and that left a bit of its colouring behind. Or it's just the paint has sort of done something weird when it got scratched. And that I think is just label glue, so that'll come off. Yeah, that was probably the price tag. So it's certainly not going to come up in mint condition, this one. But I'll get the toothbrush on the front and get rid of some of the dust. I don't even know where my toothbrush is now. Better clean out under there too. Oh, look at that stuff. That's some dirty stuff. And probably should have ejected the tape. Or open the door so we can get to that, but that's certainly better than it was. And there's probably dust down in all this back bit. It's had a bit more label glue or something there. Now it's more scratches, I think. So, a bit of a beaten up one. Would have been nice to get that clock going in it. And yeah, it still needs a bit of a clean on there. And there's actually some dirt in between the two layers. I should have really... I think there's a filter over there. So I should have cleaned that a bit better while it was out of the machine. But yeah, it's never going to be a great one, but it's kind of cool to see one of these old ones again. Even though they're not the easiest to work on, and I didn't get around to tightening those reels up like I probably should, but it's probably never going to be used again, this machine. Certainly not by me anyway. But yeah, just an interesting old big machine from the early days. And yeah, according to that website I looked on, they also said sort of 81 to 82 it came out. The Mitsubishi version. So yeah, certainly one of the larger, heavier and more expensive machines in the day. And yeah, kind of before everyone bought their VCRs, which like I say was around 83, seemed to be the main era. It was all the models from around 1983 that sold in large quantities. And anything, yeah, the late sort of 70s, early 80s ones, earlier than this, usually pretty rare, and the earliest ones were the piano key type, expensive, lots of mechanical stuff in them, and just, yeah, never sold many, and it's probably a good thing because they were kind of obsolete pretty quick. And yeah, the big Sanyo beater machine I got, similar era to this, actually doesn't even have vision search on it, so it's kind of useless for like transferring stuff off videotapes or anything like that, because you've got no vision search. But we'll have a look at that. That's a big VC 8300, I think, or VTC 8300, 9300, I forget which one it is now, 9300 it might be, 1981 model. And even bigger and clunkier than this thing. At least these were pretty electronic, so you could actually remote control them. The Sanyo one's only got like a pause, I think, so you could pause during ad breaks and then turn the pause back off again. That was all it had in the way of remote. Corded, of course. So at least these Mitsubishis are a bit ahead of their time, maybe in that way. Certainly up with the others on the technology for remote controls and stuff. But that's all we'll do with that one for now, so thanks for watching.